So, hello, my name is O'Shea Johnson. I'm coming to you from the YWCA YW Career Women's Program. We have with us here Sasa Harriet, CEO and co-founder of Home Health Services. We're going to just talk a little bit about her journey and her story, becoming a nurse and her career pathways after that, and being an entrepreneur and furthering her business and her career after everything. I'm going to start off with introducing her. Hi, Sasa.
Hi,
I'm gonna
Ashaya.
Nice seeing you. So I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to read your bio to everyone. And so I'm going to start. So Sasa is an RN with over 15 years of experience. Sasa started Harriet Home Services because she saw the need to improve the way home health care is provided. She has dedicated herself to improving the outcomes of all patients, a philosophy she imports to her staff. Sasa has demonstrated her commitment to the highest level of care for patients in the community by achieving Joint Commission accreditation. SASA has played an integral role in the high-risk medical and behavioral health services provided to the Greater Hartford area as a direct clinician and utilization review nurse for behavioral health and partnership. So thank you so much, Sasa, for joining us at the YW Career Women's Program. I just felt the need that I wanted to reach out to our students at Capital Community College that we service, who are in the students who are in the nursing programs, women who are going through their courses right now. Some of them are graduating soon, and some of them are still in their core studies. Some finishing their clinicals right now. So I just really wanted to provide someone, a woman who has been through the experience, been a nurse, been through the schooling, and can talk a little bit about their journey and their personal journey and some successes after that. So I want to just kind of start off with, kind of just give me a little introduction give me a little introduction to yourself and what your journey was like and first how you started, what piqued your interest into being a nurse.
Sure. Ashaya, I'm happy to be here and just proud of the why and everyone there for taking this extra step to ensure that everyone, has the same playing field or equal opportunity to get through nursing. We need more nurses. What better time than now to do this? So I've been a registered nurse for, like you said, over 20 years. My career in healthcare started as a CNA,
Okay,
straight out
great.
of high school, I became a CNA. And at that point, being around nurses in nursing homes locally or having a family filled with nurses, I decided that, what, I'm going to press forward. And I then I got into the University of St. Joseph's
Oh,
and just worked my way through school while working, while being a mom. And I graduated from nursing school in my early 20s, which back then was unheard of.
mhm.
Um, Back then it was unheard of, just
Right.
unheard of. And, initially it was difficult to do the 4-year program. So I remember stopping there, switching to an associate's degree, which I did. So I completed an associate's degree and then moved on up through my through a graduate program to, get my BSN, and then on my way to completing my master's. So that was my journey. And it wasn't one straight road.
Right.
I had to take detours, but I just kept my eyes, on the prize to say I am going to become a nurse and I can't do it.
Right. So doing all of that experience. So you started off nursing school and you were a parent at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that like?
The biggest thing was, sitting in a room with folks who were already through one career and re-entering the workforce as a nurse. So many of my, most classmates were a lot older than me. They were
Okay.
twice my age and just returned into the workforce or decided to completely finish raising their children and then follow their dream to become a nurse. So one, I didn't have peers my age in my classes. And two, just having a child and
Mhm.
hearing other women say that they had to wait, I had to still hear their story and then say, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to do this now. And, make sure that I seek out the folks who could support me in doing so. I remember once I had a professor say, well, you have to give everything up to get through nursing school, and there's no way to do that with a child. And I thought, that's, looking back now, that's not
Right.
what you say. That's not what you say. But back then it was okay to say that. But now I'm so proud that everyone has moved forward and advanced their knowledge and, empathy to include everyone in their, and make sure everyone has an ability to become successful and accomplish a degree.
Right. And that's so awesome that you mentioned that, because we have a lot of women who are in the nursing program, some who have given up everything to dedicate their time into nursing. But it's also refreshing to hear that, you stood your ground and you said, I'm still going to go through this program and do this no matter what. So that's really good. Thank you so much for telling me that. So my next question was, what was your first position like after graduating the nursing program? So really finishing school and then stepping out and going into a position. What was it like? Was it the greatest position? Did you feel like you can conquer everything, or was it, tough? You wanted to kind of give up and say, this is too much for me?
So the first position that I took on was as a graduate nurse at St. Francis Hospital right in Hartford. And now I'm 22 years old, and I go from,
Wow.
22 years, yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
I remember walking in to patients' rooms, and they would look at me, and one, they're assuming I'm the CNA.
Mm,
So that was hard to keep
right.
reminding folks, no, I am your nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, the next big thing I went through was they just thought they would, because, at the time, the nurses on the units were older than me. And so I remember patients having a difficult time by saying they sent a child to take care of me. So I had to go through the fact that I was young. I had to go through the fact that it was based on race. It was assumed that I was still, the CNA, or I was here in housekeeping. So I had to keep repeating myself that, no, I am your nurse and I am here to take care of you today. So I had to go through a lot of that, looking back at what that was like. You know, it was interesting. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's that way now.
Yeah.
But as a graduate, you're going to go through that, especially if you come now. I know folks are finishing nursing school in their 20s and it's the norm. But
Right.
back then, that was the biggest challenge, was that, one, it took a while to have people believe that, yes, I went through school. Yes, I passed my NCLEX on the first try, and I'm here to take
Nice.
care of you.
Mm-hmm.
I am just as qualified as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah, so that's what
Did
it was
you
like.
did you find yourself studying really like what was your NCLEX study habits? Like was that
Whew.
or was it tough? I know it's different for everybody and everyone is gonna have their their different tries with it. But did you feel like it was hard, or did you feel like it was just about your experience from being in the nursing school?
So the NCLEX exam was interesting. So I didn't study from any of my nursing books
Okay.
for the NCLEX. I studied NCLEX review books.
Okay.
So I had to put away everything that I learned in nursing school and learn how to take a test where every answer is the right answer. Every answer on the NCLEX is the right answer, but you have to learn how to prioritize now with your answers. So
Okay.
the test is not like a nursing school where it can be a right answer or a wrong answer. Every answer will be correct. You just have to choose the best option based on what would save, your patient's life. And so it's a different kind of test. So I studied the NCLEX from the books, Saunders and various books. And that was the easiest way, because then when I was wrong, I knew the rationale as to
Okay.
why I was wrong.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I feel like these little tips are helpful. We have, like I said before, we have some women who are going to be graduating this year. So anything, any little nuggets that we can provide to them to encourage them or help them study in any kind of way is helpful. So tell me a little bit about, after now fast forwarding to after your first job opportunity at St. Francis Hospital, and then moving from there, what was that like? What did you start to do after that?
So while working at St. Francis, I took care of someone who was going home to home care.
Okay.
And I was interested in that. I wanted to know, going home, what happens there. And then I realized that folks were coming a lot. They would leave today, they were back the next week, and they were going home to home care. And I said, I want to know what this home care thing is. So I applied to one of the agencies that I saw the clients were going home to, and that was it. I was so loved it. I love the autonomy of being able to create my own schedule.
Mhm.
I just loved it. I love the fact that I was in my community and I could take care of folks. In some homes, I was the only one showing up. That was it. And so I love that. And that's why I switched. And after working in the hospital, it was 12-hour shifts. That went well for me, but with a child at the time,
Mhm.
that was hard. And when I did home care, I was able to have a day of dropping her off to school, going to work, picking her up. It just felt better. And so that was the reason for the switch for me.
Okay.
So I did the hospital on a med surge unit in Hartford, and then I switched into home care. And I did home care for the next 15 years of my career.
Wow.
High risk behavioral health clients in Hartford.
Okay. So would you say that was kind of your start to your business, to being CEO of Harriet Home Health Services? Or like, how did that journey come about? You practiced
Well,
a nurse for so
oh
many
boy.
years. And
Yes, so I
now
worked.
we're just going to cover Harriet Home Health Services, and then we're going to talk about the many different avenues that have been taken on after that.
Yes, so I'm working in home care,
Hmm.
and somewhere in about 2010,
Okay.
some new regulations started to come out. And some of those regulations that came out was about the fact that um, Hartford and residents in Hartford, they were high utilizers, is what they called it.
Mm.
And high utilizers meaning, more money is being spent to care for them. And it appeared as if they were not engaged in their care as they should be. And so at that point, new regulatory bodies came in effect, and they were regulating home care by saying, what we could and couldn't do. It's called authorizations. And
Okay.
I remember sitting in meetings where I was told we have to reduce what we're doing for the folks in Hartford. And I'm saying, well, it doesn't make sense. They really need, but you have to reduce. So I quit and I went to work for the body that was in charge of authorizing home care, because I was like, I want to go there to see who are these people.
Right.
And
Hmm.
I went there and I realized that they weren't bad for wanting to do these reductions. They were trying to deliver what we call now accountable care. So they wanted to make sure that the right services were going to the right people at the right time and it wasn't lopsided. And so I understood. But what they didn't understand was why someone may on paper look as if, something as simple as a wound took more time to care for someone in Hartford as it did other towns. They didn't understand why. And that's where I was able to explain the social determinants of health.
Okay.
When you explain that to someone that, listen, they have less access to care, less
Right.
access to everything. And that's when I was able to help them reinvent that line. And so that's how, yeah.
That's how it all started. And so, okay, so now can you tell me a little bit about Harriet Home Health Services, what you all do, the importance of it? Um, yeah. It's
I
okay.
have a 3-year-old. Okay, you can go back now. So while working at
Hey, don't
sorry.
sorry.
Okay,
This is the
this is the
class
real
that we are in, and so we just have to go with it.
yes.
I understand.
Yes. So while working at the behavioral health partnership at the time, I then decided that, I'm gonna go and start a company that blended both avenues. So I learned home care, I learned delivering the right care at the right time. And I realized that yes, some people were overusing and some people were underutilizing their care. So I decided to walk into my supervisor's office one day and I said, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna start a home care agency and I'm gonna do all of this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do all of this.
Yep.
And she just looked at me. She just looked at me and she said, okay. Now, at that point, I had no idea what it took to open a home care agency. I had no idea that most agencies were owned by big corporations. Most agencies were owned by like 10 to 12 people, and most agencies were owned by men. No idea. I didn't know this, but I already said what I was going to do, so there was no turning back. No turning back.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, I started Harriet Home Health Services. I did. We went from becoming state licensed to Joint Commission accredited to having a waiting list of folks wanting our care, to being in an office that was 200 square feet to now multiple locations throughout the city.
Wow. And so now are you guys still present? Are you accepting nurses right out of
Oh,
school?
yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes, we hire new grads.
Okay.
We hire, we have we have folks that come on as CNAs and stay on and work their way through nursing school and just change their badge, their title from, nurse's assistant to nurse, and then go on to be APRNs, and then we're working with them as providers.
Right.
Amazing feeling. Amazing.
Yes. You guys have done some amazing work, and you have done some amazing work.
Thank you.
I mean, to hear your story from when you started at the age of 22 and maybe earlier, to where you are now, and just growing and consistently growing is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to have this kind of story to reach out to women in our program, so that they can see that there's women just like them, especially in the greater Hartford. I love that you touched
Yes.
on that. That is, this work is needed. And, what they're doing is going to be rewarding in the end.
Yeah.
So Harriet Home Health Services, are there any other services or any other businesses that you have ventured off to doing from there that I've just found out recently?
So yes. So Harriet Home Health, I started that in 2011, and that, the services there, they're medical related. So we provide physical therapy, nursing, behavioral health, wounds care, speech therapy,
Wonderful.
CNAs, occupational therapy, and then social work. And we also provide social work.
Okay.
So then after that, I realized that folks needed community health workers and chore services, homemakers and companions. So I decided that, okay, if we have a culturally competent agency providing all the skilled stuff and medical stuff, we need a culturally competent agency that will hire and provide non-medical services to folks. It was very important for folks to just have people with similar cleaning styles. Folks would come in and know how to cook something based on what the other person may want. So it was very important to our community to have folks that were competent on what their needs were. So we provided that, and that was maybe 2015. I started that line, and then this year, in the new year, we did Black Doctors Day. We partnered with Senator Francine Austin, and Trinity New England, and multiple other providers, and we decided to start Black Doctors Day because we're not seeing, you know, enough doctors that look like us.
Yeah.
And during that time, I decided, you know what? Who is responsible to make sure that we are all accountable for healthcare
Mm-hmm.
from the top to the bottom, from education to the care of folks to the hiring practices? Who is doing it? So I started Harriet Health Advisors.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, our slogan is health advice you can understand and trust. So
Okay.
we want to ensure that there's transparency. We want to ensure there's accountability. We want to ensure that there's equity for
Yeah.
everyone that wants to enter into healthcare as a profession, that relies on healthcare providers to be healthy. Everyone. We want to ensure that we're all, you know, able to be on the same platform
Yeah.
and have our needs met all the way around.
Nice. Now, do you guys provide any internship opportunities as well? I'm not sure if we covered that, for students who are in the nursing program and or maybe looking for any opportunities.
Yes, we are open. We have provided internships in the past. We have had students from the University of St. Joseph's where we had a partnership come through and they did their clinicals with our clients and their instructors and nurses. And that went very well because nurses from other communities
Mhm.
got to come in and see, you know, these are the things that you're going to need to know when you're caring for someone in a hospital. What does it look like to
Right.
be inside of a home? What does their refrigerator look like when you're saying you have to eat this and you have to, you know, use this, and what you have to see that what the community looks like. Is there even a grocery store when you're
Right.
saying to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables? Just to ensure that they can see the community from the eyes of the patient.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you would like to add? Any resources that you actually, what I would say is, can you please let us know how we can reach you? Any students who may be interested in your services and what you all offer, how can we be able to get in contact with
Sure. So, Harriet Home Health Services, you can reach us. We have a 24-hour nurse teleline, 860-904-9045. You can call in at any point, or you can email me at sasa@harriethomehealthservices.com at any time. I'm here if you need just mentorship, someone to talk to, how to get through the NCLEX, or we have newer grads that may be able to just say to you what the latest, you know, routine was like to go from taking your NCLEX to onboarding somewhere. Just reach out to us and we're open to
you?
whatever would, you know, enable a student or someone wanting to enter into the profession of nursing to be successful. We're here. Just reach out.
Thank you so much, Sasa. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us from the beginning into where you are now. I think that you have done some amazing work, remarkable work, especially how you kind of like started groundbreaking everything. Like, I'm going to go in here, we're going to start our own business and venture off. That's amazing, especially giving back to the Hartford community and just, you know, being dedicated to what you do. Thank you for your services as a nurse, and thank you for your services now. We appreciate this time that you are spending with us just to have this conversation and tell your story, especially in this time of COVID-19. Is there any words of advice or wisdom that you can give some of the students now before we close?
You can do it. You can do it. The folks that will be there for you, they will show up. They will show up. So every time it feels as if a door is closing, believe me, another door will open. Just, you know, stay, use tenacity, keep pushing, and you can do it. You can truly do it if this is what you want to do.
Thank you so much, Sasa. I really appreciate this. I'm going to link your bio and your information underneath. I'm going to send this out to all of the students via email so that they have it. And thank you so much. I appreciate your time with us.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. And anytime. And once again, kudos to the Y. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.